Okay, my name is Peadar Lawlor. I'm a research officer in the Pig Development Department in Moore Park, and I'm going to talk today about how much feed do lactating sows require. So this is probably an opportune time to relook at this area, in that litter size in Ireland has increased by about 1.5 pigs in the last 10 years. And so we're now at around about 12.3 piglets born alive per litter. That means that our sows must suckle a larger number of pigs than heretofore, and this trend is not going to stop anytime soon. Our competitors in Europe, the Danes, have born alives exceeding 14, and the French and the Dutch have born alives exceeding 13. So this trend is set to continue. And I suppose what is the biggest driver for nutrient requirement is the milk production of the sow. And that milk is being produced to rear these piglets. If you want to work out how much feed or nutrients an animal requires, you must look at her maintenance requirements. You must look at her requirements for milk production, and her requirements, or if she's losing weight during lactation, or that contributes to her energy requirements. So when we have done these calculations, we looked at the energy needs of the animal, and we would have found that a lactating sow or gilt requires somewhere in the region of 96 megajoules of digestible energy per day as an energy requirement. And to achieve that, she needs to be fed somewhere in the region of 6.6 kilos of a lactating sow diet that would contain around 14.2 megajoules of digestible energy. And if we want to try and achieve that type of intake, particularly guys that are liquid feeding sows need to be trying to get somewhere in the region of 75 megajoules per day into their sows by day 7 of lactation. By day 14, intake must be up at around 103 megajoules of digestible energy. If we can't get these high intakes in the first 2 weeks following farrowing, we're not going to be able to achieve the average 6.6 kilos that is required during lactation. Now, if we don't achieve those type of intakes, we run into problems maybe with excessive weight loss in sows. And particularly in gilts, this weight loss can be a huge problem, because gilts are still growing and they have an inherent drive in them to achieve a lean body content. And even after weaning, there's such a drive for that gilt to grow that she's still losing back fat even once she's weaned. So we must look after those animals. Sows should not be losing more than 10% of their body weight during lactation, and gilts should not lose more than 5%. If you go beyond those levels of weight loss during lactation, you run into problems with fertility in the subsequent parity. Your days to estrus goes out, your farrowing rate is depressed, and so is your number born alive and your total born at the subsequent farrowing. So I suppose, to summarise, we must ensure that we don't have excessive weight loss in our sows. We must try and maximise the intake of our sows and gilts, and the target intake, average intake for a sow, is 6.6 kilos of feed per day during lactation.